Homework time. Yes, happy homework time is here again. Lesson 28. We're just flying through division. It's all just a blur to me. So let's start off homework by jotting our name down at the top of the paper. I will put my name and you put yours. And then for today's date, I will write today, but you write the actual date, where and when you are in this world. Good news. You only have 2 examples to do tonight. Yeah, but as you probably see, number 1 comes in parts A through J. Okay. But there's more good news. Watch this. Read the directions. Divide. Check your work by multiplying. No prob, Bob. Draw dis on the place value chart. Oh, wait. As needed. As needed. A loophole. Yes, we do not need to draw dis on the place value chart unless you feel you need to. And let me tell you, my little friends, I don't think I'll be feeling that need tonight, because decomposing like 4 10s as 41s is hand cramp. Okay, so we will just be doing standard algorithm. I'm going to assume you're all good on that. So let's dive right in. So we're starting with 378, which we are dividing by 2. And here's how I talk about division. There are different ways of talking about it. So I look at my divisor of 2, and I go to the hundredths place here. I say, well, how many 2's in 3? Skip count by 2's. 2. Oh, well, there's just 1. If I go to 4, it's too much. So there's 1 2 in 3, because 1 times 2 is 2. And I subtract, because I've divided that, and I'm left with 1. But I can now divide these 7 10s. So really, I'm looking at 17 10s here, right? But I'll ask the question, how many 2's in 17? Well, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. There are 8 2's in 17, because 8 times 2 is what? Not 17, but 16. It's as close as I can get without going over. It's like Price is Right. Subtract and you get 1, and I still have these 8 1's. So now we're looking at 18 1's. So how many 2's in 18? Well, I know this. It's 9, right? Because, why? Because 9 times 2 is indeed exactly 18. Subtract, get 0, no remainder. But we do need to check our work by multiplying. So we take our quotient, the 189, and multiply it by our divisor of 2. And we should end up with 378. Now, look, I'm warning you, if you just go and write 378 here, your teacher's going to notice that you didn't really do the check, because they're going to see there's no regrouping. So just do the check, okay? It's worth it. You know, that way you're actually checking your work. So 2 times 9 is 18. 18. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1, cross it out, is 17. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 378. Oh, good. Okay, so I got what I was supposed to get. Hey, not so bad. We can do a few of those. No problem. Let's roll on. And in 1B, we have 795 divided by 3. So let's check it out. 795 divided by 3. Okay. And so we are going to move through these pretty quickly. You notice that what we're doing in this lesson is 3-digit dividends with divisors that are between 2 and 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5 as divisors. So how many 3's in 7? We'll skip count by 3's. 3, 6. Yes, there are 2 3's in 7, because 2 times 3 is 6, as we just skip count 2. Subtract and you get 1. And now we can divide with those 9 10s. So what we're looking at here is 19 10s, right? So how many 3's in 19? Well, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, so that's 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And we subtract and we're left with 1. And we still have 5 1's to divide. So we now have 15 1's. So how many 3's in 15? Ooh, you know that. Yep, it's 5. Because 5 times 3 is 15. So we subtract, we are left with 0, nothing left to divide. Beautiful, lovely, let's check it. Check it good. 265 times 3. So 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is, yeah, we just did it, 18. Plus 1 is 19. And 3 times 2, 6, right? Plus 1 is 7. Whew, that was a close one. We got it right. Good. All right, let's go on to 1C. And now we meet Mr. 512 divided by 4. Hello, Mr. 512 divided by 4. I'm going to divide you. 512 divided by 4. Okay, so how many 4s in 5? We'll skip count by 4s. 4. Yes, there's 1. Because 1 times 4 is 4. We subtract and are left with 1. And now we can divide this 1 in the tens place. So we're looking at 11 tens. How many 4s in 11? 4, 8. Okay, we can't go to 12, so there's just 2. Because 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, we are left with 3. And now we can divide the 1s. So we are looking at 32 ones. So how many 4s in 32? Oh, hey, you just learned this fact, didn't you? I'm assuming so, because you know that 8 times 4 is 32. So there are 8 4s in 32, because 8 times 4 is 32. Subtract, you're left with 0. Beautiful. Let's check it. 128 times 4. Well, we just did 8 times 4. We know it's 32. 4 times 2, 8. Plus 3 is 11. 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 512 checks out. That's what we started with for a dividend. And if I'm going too fast for you here, use the pause button. All right, let's go on. And I'm serious about use the pause button thing, okay? Because I don't want to go so slowly that some of you are just kind of like, all right already. But I want to go so fast that you're getting lost or confused. So do seriously use the pause button if I do go a little fast for you. So now we have 492 divided by 4. All right, how many 4s in 4? Yeah, 1, because 1 times 4 is indeed 4. We're subtracting it 0, but we have 9 tens we can now divide. And now how many 4s are in 9? 4, 8. Yes, we have 2 4s in 9, because 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract that, and we are left with 1. And now we can divide the 1s, so we have 12 ones. How many 4s in 12? 4, 8, 12. There are 3 4s in 12, because 3 times 4 is 12. And we subtract and are left with 0. Nothing left to divide. Look, 1, 2, 3. They're always doing cute stuff like that. Well, let's check it out. 123 times 4. 4 times 3. That's right, 12. 4 times 2 plus 1 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. Excellent. 492. And you see, do the check right, because it barely takes a second longer to do it right as it does just to like copy it senselessly. So actually do the check. All right, let's move on to part E. E, look at this. E, 539 divided by 3. Well, let's write it out. 539. I don't know if you noticed, but I do this when I say divided by. That's how I draw the division bracket. In case you ever get confused about which number goes in the bracket. So you write it 539 divided by 3. There we go. So how many 3s in 5? Well, skip count by 3s. 3. There we go. 1. There is 1 3 in 5, because 1 times 3 is, you're not 5, but 1 times 3 is, yes, 3. Subtract, you're left with 2. We can now go to the tens place. We have 3 tens. So 23 tens we're dividing now. How many 3s in 23? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 18, 21. Ah, okay, so there we go. So there are 7 3s in 23 because 7 times 3 is, as we just counted to, 21. We subtract and are left with 2. And now we can divide the ones place. So we have 29 ones. How many 3s in 29? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. That's as close as we can get. 30 will be too much. So now we know that there are 9 3s in 29 because now be careful because we just said 29, but that's not it. Because 9 times 3 is 27. Yes. And so now we're seeing our first remainder of this homework. So we have 2. So that is a remainder of 2. So now our check is going to have that additional step. Get it? Additional step. 179. We take our quotient, multiply it by the divisor. We should get the dividend once we add in the remainder. 3 times 9 is 27. Yeah, we just did it. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 23. 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5. Oh no, wait, it doesn't match. Oh no, oh that's right, we have to add in the remainder of 2. So it of course is 539. Beauteous. Let us move on. Moving on. Alright, letter F. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Okay, we can see we're going to have a remainder here, right? Because we're dividing by 5. And the number does not end in either 0 or 5. So 862 divided by 5. Well, so how many 5s in 8? 5. Oh, there's 1. Okay. Because 1 times 5 is 5. Great. We subtract and are left with 3. We can now divide the tens. So we have 36 tens. How many 5s in 36? Well, you know these, right? So you know your 5. So it is 7. Because 7 times 5 is 35. Good. When we subtract, we're left with 1, and we can now divide the ones place. So how many 5s in 12? You got it. It's 2, because 2 times 5 is 10. When we subtract, we are left with 2, and we are done dividing, so that would be a nice little remainder. So let's take that 172 quotient we have and multiply it by the divisor of 5. And we should see, after we add in the remainder, the dividend of 862. So let's see what we see. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 1 is 36. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. That's right, we have to add in that remainder of 2, so obviously you can see we do get the 862 we're supposed to. Lovely! Let's go see G. I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah. Alright, now we're looking at 498 divided by 3. So let's divide. How many 3s in 4? There is 1 3 in 4 because 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract and you get 1. We can now divide the tens place. So 19 tens. How many 3s in 19? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, so there are 6 3s in 19 because 6 times 3 is 18. Good. You said 18, didn't you? All right. I knew you did. All right, subtract and you get 1. We can now divide the ones place, and we just did this, so we already know that there are 6 3s in 18 because 6 times 3 is 18, and we'll subtract and get 0. So now we can go ahead and multiply our quotient by our divisor, and we should get the dividend. We had no remainder here. 6 times 3 is 18. Now 3 times 6 is 18 again, plus 1 is 19. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 498, check! It's good. Let's go see about H. And in H, we're looking at 783 divided by 5. We know there will be a remainder, because you can tell right off, because the dividend does not end in a 0 or 5, and we have a divisor of 5. So 783 divided by 5. Well, how many 5s in 7? 5, 1, because 1 times 5 is 5. When we subtract, we're left with 2. Now we can divide the tens place. We have 8 tens, so putting it with those 20 tens from the hundreds place, we have 28 tens. How many 5s in 28? Well, you know your 5s. You know that 5 times 5 is 25, and that's as close as we can get to 28. So we subtract that 25 and get 3. And we can now divide the ones, so 33 ones. How many 5s in 33? Again, you know those 5s, so you know that 6 times 5 is 30. And we subtract them, and sure enough, as we predicted, we have a remainder of 3. Now, to check it out, we're going to take our quotient of 156 and multiply it by 5. So 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 3. Good. 28. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. And now we just need to add in, don't forget that remainder of 3 to get 783, which checks out with our dividend. It is good. Let's come eye to eye with I. Get it? All right. Okay. Almost there. I know it's been a lot of division. You'll be okay. You will survive. All right, so let's do this. 621 divided by 4. How many 4s in 6? Well, let's skip count by 4s. 4. Yes, right. There's 1. Because 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract and we get 2. Now we can divide the tens, those 2 tens, so we have 22 tens. How many 4s in 22? Yes, you know this one, that 5 times 4 is 20. That's as close as we can get. And we subtract and get 2. And now we can divide the ones place. So we are looking at 21 ones. And again, we know that 5 times 4 is 20. And that's as close as we can get. You subtract and are left with 1, which is our happy little remainder. So to check this, we take the 155, multiply it by our divisor of 4, and then we'll have to add in the remainder. So 4 times 5, as we just said several times, is 20. 4 times 5 again is 20, plus 2 is 22. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6, and yes, it won't match until we add in that remainder of 1, and then it does. 621. See, these are getting easy. The more you practice, isn't it amazing, the better you do. Hey, we just have one more like this, and then a word problem, and homework time will be through. Let's jump over to J. It's J! All right, well, let's write it out. 531 divided by 4. All right, well, how many 4s in 5? Skip count by 4s. 4. Okay, yep, so there's 1. Because 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract, we get 1. Now we can divide the tens place with that 3. So we have 13 tens. How many 4s in 13? 4, 8, 12. There we go. There are 3 4s in 13 because 3 times 4 is 12. Yes, not 13, but 12. Subtract, we get 1, and now we can divide for the ones. We have 11 ones. How many 4s in 11? Well, 4, 8. Yeah, we can't go to 12. So just 2 4s in 11 because 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, and we get 3, which is our happy little remainder. So to check this out, we take the 132, our quotient, and multiply it by the divisor of 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Wait, that's totally wrong. No, it's not, because we have to add in the remainder of 3. And so 8 and 3 are 11. Group that. 1 and 2 are 3. And then we have the 5. So 531. Check. And we just have a little word problem to do. So let's do it. All right. So this is about Selena. Not that Selena. And her dog. So Selena's dog completed an obstacle course. Go, dog, go. That was 932 meters long. There were 4 parts of the course, all equal in length. How long was one part of the course? Okay, so if you think about this, we can draw a very simple tape diagram with 4 parts. Mine gonna get skinny in the middle. It shouldn't, and my parts don't look very equal, but you know what? Hey, tape diagram is just to give us an idea. The whole thing is 932 meters long. We're trying to find one of them, and we'll call this C for the one part of the course. That's what we're trying to find. So if we take, and the reason we draw is so you can see, like, look, here's the whole course. We want to find one out of the 4 parts, so it's divided up. So you can see how it's partitioned. It's divided up, so we need to divide, because you won't always be told, hey, you need to divide, right? Got to figure things out. So if we take the full length of the course, that 932 meters, and divide it by how many parts there are, equal parts, and it's important that they're equal, the 4 parts, we can find the length of one part of the course. So how many 4s in 9? 4, 8. Okay, there are 2 4s in 9, because 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract, we get 1. Now we can divide the tens. So we have 13 tens. 4, how many 4s in 13? 4, 8, 12. Ah, yes, there are 3 4s in 13, because 3 times 4 is, right, not 13, 12. Good. We subtract, we get 1, and now we can, that's right, divide those 1s. So we have 12 ones now. And we just did this, so we know that there are 3 4s in 12, because 3 times 4 is 12. We subtract, we're left with 0. Let's do a little check like we did on all the others. It's quick and easy. Stop your griping. All right, 233 times 4. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 again is 12, but plus 1 is 13. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Checks out, 932. Not so fast. What do we have to do? To answer the question. That's always nice. All this is beautiful, but you got to be clear. So each part of the course is how long? How long was one part of the course? Well, it's 233. And what are we talking about? Meters, yes. So we could say one part, or we could say each part. One part of the course. And for some reason they tell this all in the past tense, so I guess we'll stick with that. One part of the course was 233 meters long. Period. Go, Selena's dog, go. Well, look what you've done now. You did it. You completed another homework time. Nice work, and I will see you again next time it is homework time.